What's going on, guys? Spartan Willie here. Welcome to the very first episode of Season 2 in our Rebuilding Ferrari Motorsport Manager F1 2020 mod series. Okay, so just before I get started here, this is actually the start of Season 2. So if you've clicked on this ticket and it's episode 1, I recommend you go check out Season 1. If not, it is a lot of episodes. I'll spoil it for you in 3, 2, 1. We got 4th place behind Reynolds and Red Bull and Mercedes, and McLaren were in 5th, so it was a massive gap to them. But now we've got the 3rd best car on grid, hopefully, if preseason goes alright, and now we're going to be challenging for the top. That out the way, enjoy the episode. Okay, so we left things pretty premature before we left. We still have a lot of like end of season stuff to do. I did this on purpose because it sort of all muddles into one, last season and new season. So I'd rather keep it all in the new season. But as you see here, we will be receiving our prize money right now. It's a bit exciting. How much is it going to be? I think it's going to be about 50 mil. Receive prize money. Yeah, 48 million. We got to get 3rd place or even win it next year and be able to keep our budget. I mean, it's not too bad. We started on 400 mil, now we're on 373. That's right. It's been Cyril. So Cyril Adabipal is the team boss of the season. So that's exciting for him and Renault. Of course, he signed Alonso probably, so that is probably the mastermind. And Alexander Albon wins Driver of the Year. Surprising. I feel like he didn't have a great year. Oh, he was 4th. He's much better in the game than in real life. But yeah, Fernando Alonso right behind him. I'm surprised he didn't get the Red Bull drive, but I think we still got to advance, and we should see some driver changes hopefully. Probably not because all the contracts are sort of really long. Because I think I sort of messed up a little bit with the mod installation. Because I think you're meant to start in 2020. It'll make more sense, but it is what it is. We're already too far in to restart now, so we'll take it on the chin. Prepare for a shake-up of racing order next year. The new active rules, of course, we've got KERS and high merit payments. So I'm very keen because our car looks like we can get some nice high merit payments, hopefully using KERS. So ART will be promoted to Formula 1 and Williams will be falling down to Formula 2. So fair play. I'm keen for that. I didn't disable that for a reason. I wouldn't mind seeing a mix up. So we've got ART. Yeah, I'm keen for that. That's going to be good. Let's continue here. Let's continue throughout the season. And it looks like the performance work will continue on. So whatever part that I took off the car, we can put back on it. That rear wing. So let's have a look. This is sort of like the first time I'm going through an end of the season in this mod. So I don't know when the season ends. But it looks like that rear wing will reach its maximum potential, which would be fantastic. Looks like we could have designed another part as well, but again, we're a bit inexperienced when it comes to end of season in this mod. If you have a look here, the car looks amazing. Look at all those purples. Man. We should make sure all the parts are fitted properly just before we advance the end of the season. So it's all on the purple car. Yep. Yeah, that's beautiful. Alright, let's jump forward and it's about to start. The new season is about to get going and I'm so ready. Car design unlocked. We're going to go through the livery right now. I'm going to do it live with you. So preseason, yep, car design next year's car. We get 14 mil because that's the money we're putting away for next season's car throughout the season. We're obviously going to go with a Ferrari engine supplier. You can get a Mercedes, a Renault, a Honda, and whatever that is. I think that might be like your own team. But obviously we're Ferrari, so yeah, we're going to go with the Ferrari. Rear package. So this is better for tire heating, better tire wear. We kind of want to go like a medium ground, don't we? Oh, we don't care about tire wear. Fuel efficiency. I don't know. Let's just leave it at what it was. What was it before? Just chuck it there. Who cares? I don't really know what I'm doing there. Yep. It looks like we can only go with shell as well. Well, that's fine. I think we're very boxed in here what we can get, but if you have a new team, you can choose all this and stuff, so it's fine. Here we go. We're obviously going to get the very best brakes. We're not messing around with that. There's no point saving 100 grand and get crappy brakes, so we're going to go full out and battery supplier. So this is all. There's not this many parts in the actual game, so this is all new. So starting charge. Oh no, this is because of KERS, isn't it? Yeah. So harvest efficiency. I think we have to go with this one, don't we? 90, 95, I think that's the best one. Yep, so we go with them, and they're the most expensive, so that makes sense. So who do we have last year? We're going the exact same as last year. So improvability is good, but do we really need it to be? Should we focus more on tire heating? Nah, because our tire heater overheat enough as it is. We'll stick with that. Continue. Alright, so that's all done. That's exciting. We move on we wait till we can design the livery, I assume. Then we get the parts, then we've got pre-season testing. So tire simulations, we're just gonna, you get these events and you just want to say yes to everything. We got the money, so that's gonna improve our tire wear. So that's good. I'll take that any day of the week. And just continue on here to the next dilemma. Just sort of keep an eye on the emails. See if there's any driver movements. Not sure yet. It's a bit exciting, isn't it? We're just flying through the off season here with Melbourne GP in 45 days. A unique opportunity. That's what we like to hear. A bizarre engine fire in the pit garage just recently. Okay. Okay. So I can decide to sort of make fun of Haas, who had a massive fire, but I don't want to do that because that'll get me in trouble with the chairman. I'm not going to join in the charades. We already got great team marketability. It's really not worth it. Pretty sure we get 100 here, 96. So we're stuck with these sponsors for another season, but that's fine. Upgraded factory for Renault. Good on them. Thanks, Ed Straw. So we're going to keep going along here. Melbourne GP's in 30 days. Livery edit. Here we go. Now, I'm going to have a bit of fun with this livery. We're obviously going to stick with the red of Ferrari. I did think about going with the black, like for Mercedes, but we won't do that. It's not the Ferrari way. So that's obviously the old car livery. Well, we can't really switch to a Red Bull, can we? We'll probably stick to the Mission Widow, just because it's a Ferrari color. But maybe we can get like a darker hint of red. I don't know, I don't want to change it too much. I think that looks pretty nice. If we change it too much, it's just sort of wouldn't look like a Ferrari, eh? But then to be fair, we could change it up. Hey, I don't mind that black, you know. I'm going to go and mess around with it a little bit and I'll show you the finished product. Okay, we're just going to stick with sort of the Ferrari look where it's going to go with a darker tint of red. And we're going to change the secondary color to black. So the rear wing's got a bit of black on it. I didn't want to go too crazy livery because when you're Ferrari, you can't really go too insane with the livery. And as you see, Ned Flanders, man, he's popped up. Say hi to Ned Flanders, everyone. We're just designed the livery now. We're going to continue on. Male preseason testing. So this is where we're going to find out how good the car is. And obviously we are hoping that it is best on grid, but so they want tire heating on tire wear. No, I'm not convinced. Sorry, mate. I don't like direct swaps. I'd rather pay money and get a good trade-off. But pre-season testing and curbs. This is exciting. I actually want to see this. So we're going to harvest energy. We know how curbs works, sort of. So power mode is literally just car additional power, ideal for overtaking. Hybrid mode is conserving energy and preserve fuel and mechanic components in the car. This drains the battery slower than ERS power mode. Nice. Pre-season testing's about to start. Alright, let's have a look. Start testing. Hopefully we're up there. That's a good start. It's a good start. We haven't really had much time on track though, so we won't get too far ahead of ourselves. Average speed's a bit down, but hopefully because we're just running some longer sort of simulations, and we're not really doing too well here. Daniel Ricciardo down to 15th, but we'll take preseason testing with a pinch of salt as we're going to move into the season. I know our car's good, so it's fine. Alright, so that's it. That is the new season. There's our car. It looks pretty nice, just simple. Let's have a look at the car. Where are we? Third on grid. That's exactly where we want it to be. The gearbox has got a way to go, so we're going to do a gearbox straight away. Gearbox. We're going to obviously be building for this season again now. We're not building parts for next year because we are in the next year. So, what do we improve? Reliability seems a bit more of an issue this year, as you can see. So, we might see some cars bundle out the race with mechanical problems, so that would be interesting to watch. Just get some reliability on these 4 parts, and we'll jump on the male targets. Here we go. Our target this season, I want to go second, but I'd rather go third, but we're going to go fourth, just so I don't invite unnecessary pressure on myself. You know how it is. Got it. Continue on. So first thing we're going to do here is you put away a certain amount of money each race to next season's car. So we're just going to chuck it on high just so we have more money next season. It doesn't really matter because that was enough money, but you know we get about it's like forced savings. You know what I mean? Now I'm designing a part, aren't I? Yeah, I'm designing a part and improving reliability. That's fine. And what are we on with the reliability? Yeah, that's fine. Now we'll work on some other parts. Just try and get them all up to 80 just before the race, so then we don't have any problems with them in the race. So Daniel's birthday, yep, it'd be rude not to celebrate. I think he's a bit down after preseason testing as well because he didn't have the great experience. So we'll chuck him a birthday card and stuff, you know, celebrate it. Daniel loves it, get around him. Let's just chuck in these ones now. Just trying to knock them up so we don't have any issues. Yeah, that should be fine. If we just chuck that in there. Just try and get them all to about 72. Alright, I am so keen for this season. How are we going to go in Melbourne? We didn't have a great race in Melbourne last time out, I don't think. It's going to be rainy in practice and in the race. Qualifying is going to be cloudy. Alright, Kurz is in. New car. We have got a decent car this year. Hopefully we can absolutely smash Renault. You know how we do it. For the first time this season, I'll see you for qualifying. Alright, welcome to the very first qualifying of the season in Australia. It is pouring down with rain in true Melbourne fashion. I was told that we're going to have a dry qualifying, but that didn't quite materialise. But there is a dry part to this session, so hopefully we see some big boys drop out. We are struggling with the setup a tiny bit, which is not great to see, but that's fine. We'll be able to cope with that easy. So we're going to just go out on the clean slicks at about the 6 minute mark. I do think I have the right setup there. I've just tried to perfect it with Leclerc and gone the wrong way. So if we go that way on there, and with the handling, if we go the other way, then that will be an all perfect setup. Keep speed balance there and get the super softs ready to go. So let's do it. Take qualifying. Now I didn't get an extended camera mod. I wanted to, but I just don't want to mess with the F1 2020 mods too much because I've already sort of messed up the start year. So don't worry, I will nail it down for the tutorial. But I'm really busy at the moment because tutorials take a lot more effort than a playthrough. So I will do the tutorial soon, but I'm going away in a couple of days. So I'm just trying to push out as many of these videos, keep up that daily grind. But yeah, I'm going to get the tutorial down pat before I start showing you guys how to download it. So anyway, 6 minutes to go on the session. Now, when do we go out here? Do we go out in track grips at the most? I don't want to risk not making it. We'll go out about 2:30, I think. Just so the track grips at the most it can be. We'll send the Leclerc out now. We're going to finally see what our pace looks like. And well, maybe not in Q1, probably in qualifying. I'm really hoping it's good because I want to be challenging for the title. I know it's not really in the goal, but a couple improvements. Get another gearbox in the car. And I reckon we can do it. I really do. So flying through in this new livery. I don't know if it's better than the other one, but it's different. It's alright, because none of the other cars changed livery as well. I tried to look into getting a mod to change it, but I don't really have any Photoshop skills. But we go P4 and P9, they're not bad. Half a second of Hamilton. So hopefully that's something we can build on, as ART had a shocking Q1. Going out, they'll be bottom. They'll be worse than Williams this season, to be honest. But it's good to see some different teams up here. As we push into Q2, hopefully the rain holds off so we can have a... Oh, it won't hold off. But we want to try and maximize track grip. So if we go about 3 minutes off 6 minutes, what's that? 9. But we go at 9.5 just to make sure that we get the best lap possible. You know what? Why are we risking it? Just send him out now. We got the pace. It's fine. Send him out now. Wait, no, Charles's downforce isn't right. Uh-oh. Ricardo's is okay. I'm really struggling with the setups today. I don't know why. It's really struggling, but it's fine. We got the pace, raw pace in the car. We shouldn't need a setup to get us over the line. But it's always good to have a setup on your side. We'll be able to mess with Leclerc's in Q3, I think. All it needs is the downforce. Go the opposite way. But where does that put us? Leclerc P5 and Ricardo P3. That's what we like to see, above Bottas and Albon. So there does seem to be a big gap in the car here, as I'm sort of panicking with Leclerc now. The rain's coming down now. But that first car is much better than the second car right now. But as we build more parts, it'll be equal. Don't worry. Because obviously we built illegal parts and they take time. so we can only put them on one car. We couldn't build another one for the second car, so it's all okay in the hood. Leclerc's car will be up there in a couple races, don't worry about that. So Ricciardo P3 is very promising as we go into Q3. Hopefully, I wouldn't mind a bit of rain. If there's like a 3-minute window with no rain, and we could get pole. Because I feel like I'm smarter than the AI when it comes to rain on the track. But Verstappen finishes top of the session. Hamilton 350 milliseconds behind, which is quite a big gap. So maybe he might struggle this season, Hamilton. He won't be the unbeatable AI. That's sure what I'm hoping. Esteban Ocon, Sergio Perez go out in Q2. Hopefully the Renault can't be as good as it was last year, 2 years in a row, surely. I mean, the car was like 7th on grid last year. It was just Alonso. Now this is a very awkward time, but we're gonna go out really quick here. Chuck on a fresh set of supers. Why not? We got the tire compounds. Should we mess with what's his name's downforce now? Yep. So let's just send it back that way. Strap on a new set of tires and send him out. Hopefully we can get a good dry run in before the rain hits, and then we'll get one more in as it dries up. But this is a bit of an awkward time window for the AI with the rain, so hopefully we catch him napping a little bit, as the rain's going to come down halfway through Leclerc's flying lap, which is a bit unfortunate for him. But he should, yeah, it's been unfortunate for him really. There's no real silver lining. But Ricciardo is on provisional pole. We're still, and one more run to go though, so we won't get too far ahead of ourselves. We'll send him out with about 2.5 minutes on the clock. Hopefully Leclerc can improve a little bit, because everyone else is going to improve as well. So in about 2.5 minutes, we'll send him out for the last run. Verstappen looks faster than Hamilton so far, but that could all change in this last little run here. Alright, everyone's going out now. We're going to wait a bit longer. Leclerc's going to go out first, just because I'm starting to go from right to left now. And Leclerc's downforce is fine. Don't have to worry about that anymore. And Ricciardo was obviously fine. Didn't change his setup at all. As they go out for their final flying lap of the first qualifying of 2017. It should be 2021, but someone can't install mods. But here we go. Begins the flying lap. How's he going to go in Sector 1? Doesn't improve Sector 1. Neither do. Sector 2 is better for Leclerc, and same for Ricciardo. He comes through in 9th. Ricciardo comes through in 4th. Pole position is Verstappen. Hamilton's half a second off Verstappen. That Red Bull's got some pace this season. So it's going to be they've continued right where they left off last season, improving like crazy. So that's good for them. We're going to continue on here to the race. 4th on the grid and 10th, was it? Yep. So what's the rain saying? Just rain at the end. That's legit it. Okay. Well, we're stuck on our Q2 tyre anyway, so it will be a 2-stop today. So that's fine. Yep, it's all good. We're going to see how good this tyre heating is. I mean, I think it's all the same as last year. We sort of got the best we can get. But here we go. No onboard camera. I didn't want to mess with the mod, but here we go. For the first race in 2017, Ricciardo gets a decent start. We're going to chuck it in 4 times here. Beats Bottas off the line. Winding through the first couple corners here in Sydney. There's a McLaren down the inside of Ricciardo. We don't want to be battling with McLarens this year, but it looks like we might be. As Sainz gets a P3, but Ricciardo slingshots past. And we have Kers. I forgot about that, but I'm just going to put on auto. Let them use it. If I need to, I'll interfere. But it's going to be very interesting with Kers this season, isn't it? We should go power. Come on. Use some power, man. Don't be saving it. What's the point of saving it? Everyone else is using it. I'm going to give it back to him now. Temps are already really high, which is a bit concerning. Just look to try and bring them back into temperature. Chuck it on 12 times. Get this race well and under our way. Hopefully other people are struggling with tyre heat as well, but there's a chance that they're not. It's going to keep it on. You can really punish the fuel now because you can recover it with Kers, so that's something we should look to do this season. But maybe we shouldn't go too hard on the engine as well, because the engine is still pretty ripe. Like 79%. I mean, that's still pretty good. It's not terrible. And I think Kers goes easier on components as well. And we're in a really awkward spot here, where push is too much, but neutral doesn't maintain temperature. So I might just have to go to the top and stay neutral, as we have to start to look to pit soon, as these tyres are of course what we qualified on. So they are not too friendly right now. And a safety car, Sebastian Vettel. Wait, Sebastian Vettel's back on the grid? I didn't even check that, but here we go. We are going to pit, obviously. What is this? So you can recharge the battery at the pit stop. That's pretty cool. So will that take more time? Yeah, but that's fine. We don't want to overcharge a battery because that will ruin it for the race, apparently. I didn't know that was a thing. But chuck, why not chuck 25% on it? I mean, we'll recover it anyway throughout the race, so it's probably not needed, but I just want to see how it goes. Bit of an unnecessary risk, but it's all good. It's completed. As we're going to come in for a free pit stop here, which is going to be great for our race. That would surely take us to the dry period here if these don't because it's going to be hard to keep the softs in temperature without pushing, but we'll take the free pit stop and deal with the consequences later. Here's Ricardo in P4 still. Albon's the only other driver who pitted under the safety car, so he's obviously thinking correctly. Heading to garage, so one more lap under the safety car here, and we're building up fuel like nobody else, building up that charge. There's no real point adding it, but you know what, we did it anyway. Under the safety car here, hopefully we can catch science pretty quickly. We should probably go easy on this tyre, because we want to make it to the wet period, which is in lap 44 roughly, so we got about, I don't know, math, 35 laps or something on this. Safety car turning to pit lane, we're going to tell them to attack, attack, attack. Yep, they already got the ERS on power mode, but we're going to chuck it on for Ricardo here as he's zooming off. Still can't catch the McLaren. Yes, he will get the McLaren here. He's going to slow it down to try and get a good look. Leclerc's coming up through the grid, and he's out of ERS. Sorry, Ricardo, but they just go so quick. I should just leave it on auto, let them do it. But not a bad restart for us as we're on the podium with a pit stop in hand. Leclerc's up into 6th as tyre temps reach maximum. We're going to keep the engine on overtake. And hopefully these tyre temps maintain temperature better than the soft, so we don't have to keep pushing. But we'll see how that is. And we are basically in a net lead here, a net 1 and 2, because everyone else around us still got a pit. And we are going to have to keep pushing to keep these tyres in temps, which is a bit annoying. It won't help with tyre wear, but it should be fine. As hopefully we could be on for a race win here, lads. We could be on for a race win here. As the tyre temps, man. It's ridiculous. Alright, we just got to keep an eye on them because they're not being too friendly at the moment. Just watching that engine condition, 73, 69. We should probably go on to medium now. We'll just tell them to chill out in the engine. We'll keep Leclerc's on overtake because he's got still signs in front of him. Hamilton and Verstappen have got to pit soon. So we're going to tell them to push. Because if they don't pit soon, they're going to be losing a lot of time on those tyres. So we can try and close that gap as who pitted there, Max. And he's got a lot of traffic. He should have pitted under the safety car. What a silly goose here. As Hamilton is still pushing. Still increasing his gap on those dead softs. So that's a bit concerning. Again, they're on another level. But hopefully we can look to close that gap a little bit as Sainz pits as well. And Leclerc inherits P3. As we are now closing the gap to Hamilton big time as we're pushing on these tyres. And Ricardo inherits P1. Let's go, lads. We are in a net 1-2 right now. We're in 1-2. It's not. And another safety car. What? Wow. That was lucky that Hamilton pitted when he did, or else he would have got a free pit stop. I think we have to pit again. It's silly. It's a free pit stop if we pit. How many laps to the wet period? This has been a mad race here in Australia. So P14, lap 14, sorry. Will that be on? 20. So we've got 24 laps. We're just going to go on another set of softs and recharge the battery. What is he on now? We're just going to go chuck 25 into it. Pit over here with Leclerc onto another set of softs just to make sure we make it to that window of the wets, just so it can push as well. And obviously fresher tyres mean more pace. But Bottas has to be silly not to pit behind us anyway, so we should come out in P1 and 2. The batteries will be fine. There's no overheating here. And yet we come out in P1 and 2 on a fresh set of softs. Beautiful. And we're playing this race pretty well, but there is a... See, I don't think they'll make it to the wet period. What? Oh, I thought the safety car went in. I don't think they'll be able to make it to the wet period, to be honest, on those softs. So they might have to do another stop. Well, that's what I'm hoping anyway. Because there's still quite a few laps before we jump on the inters. It's a bit of a shame the second safety car. We didn't really need it. We're in a good spot, but we'll have to deal with it, won't we? as we go through these pretty aggressive corners here in Sydney. I didn't really see that last time, but we're going to attack, attack, attack. Leave the ERS to them. They know what they're doing. Did I do it a bit early? Probably, but that's fine. Doesn't really matter. Now, don't overtake each other, please. Don't crash, I mean. You can overtake each other, but just don't crash. As Ricciardo gets a beautiful getaway from the safety car, better than I thought. And zooming away, Bottas and the softs boys are still struggling to get past Albon, who's on the quite used softs. So, I mean the super softs. I keep getting mixed up between the softs and the super softs because there's no such thing as a super soft in real life. I'm saying soft way too much now. Alright, still on overtakers. We'll just be able to save fuel, and we have got a decent gap here to Leclerc. I mean to Albon and to Leclerc, but Leclerc's with us, so we won't say we have a decent gap to him. Chuck on neutral. We are in a beautiful spot for this race. I'm not going to lie to you. It's beautiful. We've got so much ERS. Why do I keep saying ERS? KERS. Same thing. But we have so much of that stored up as well if we need to get in a bit of a fight. Just trying to keep this tyre temps in the optimal zone is a bit of a challenge at the moment because you have to keep pushing neutral. But we're doing a good job of that right now, so we won't complain too much. And a bit of ERS usage from Leclerc, I like that. And they're going to struggle to make it to the... Oh, they're pretty close, actually. I reckon they'll make it. See, take your eye off it for 1 minute and they're overheated. It's a chore here. As Ricciardo is getting a 10-second gap to Albon. He's taking off. Those softs are not a good racing tyre by the looks of it because they are losing so much time. It's not even funny. We're just going to keep this window open here because it rises so quick on push. So by any major mistakes here, we could be on for a P1 and 2. To be fair, Leclerc is pretty close to Albon, but we almost got a pit stop between Ricciardo and some of the soft boys, so super soft boys. So that's not a good racing tyre. Bad mistake from them, really. Should have pitted onto the softs. I'm happy that we did get the second pit stop now. Now that I've seen, in hindsight, I'm happy that we pitted again. I was thinking about staying out, but those used softs might have been a bit dodgy towards the end of their stint, but we pitted again. Happy about that. And that, yep, there it is. Verstappen's pitted. So that he's basically given up on the win there. I told you those super softs were not the race tyre to go on. I thought about that as well. But with 26 laps to the wets, and they only last 26 laps, and you have to bloody push them to keep them in temp. It's just not the strat. So we've outsmarted the AI. Yeah, pat me on the back. It is on the hardest difficulty and on realistic, but you know, at the end of the day, it's still an AI. But P1, 20 seconds to Albon. We're in a beautiful spot here. If we can close out this first race in P1 and P2, we make a statement that Ferrari are back in town with the first race win of the season. But we won't get too far ahead as the rain starts coming down here. Too far ahead of ourselves, I should say. And people are already on the inters. Way too early for the inters, mate. As we start to lap people. Hopefully there's no collisions with the lap. But we're going to tell inters at the next stop. Yeah, it's definitely time for inters. It's definitely time for inters now. Well, by the time he gets around. As the front wing's taking a bit of damage. How long will that take? 2 seconds? It'll take 2 seconds to fix the front wing. You're joking. Alright, well, let's do that easy then. Save. Alright. Why is that 2 seconds to fix the front wing? I have no idea, but we'll take it. The gearbox isn't too good, is it? Okay, these take like no time to fix, so we can fix everything on the car for nothing. I think that's a bit of a bug, but it's the first race of the season, so we need it. We're going to tell them to fix everything on the car. It's a bit of a dodgy move, but the AI have got it too, so it's fine. So the only part it takes time to fix is the whatchamacallit, the front wing. So let's have a look here. I did put on the inters, didn't I? I got to do it again. I don't want to lose this race win. I do not want to lose this race win whatever I do. So he's on the inters. Recharge the battery by a bit. I know I put Leclerc on the inters, so we're going to zoom ahead here. It's time to pit. It's time to pit. Hopefully we come out in the lead of this race. Yeah, I think we did. And he straps on the inters. Beautifully done. I'm going to tell him to cool it on the fuel a little bit because we're a bit over target. And now the cars are in pristine condition, so that's what we like to see. We're in P1 until this race. Albon is sneaking up on Leclerc a little bit. We're going to watch on board Leclerc, but Leclerc does have a lot of battery power, so he should be fine defending. He's going to go and push a little bit, get him back into temps, push away from Albon. He must have had a good... Oh no, Albon was always close to Leclerc, wasn't he? So we didn't do anything wrong with the pit stop, but Ricciardo is looking in a beautiful spot to win this race. Hopefully Leclerc can maintain at least a podium. Albon's right on his gearbox now, which is insane. He closed that gap pretty quickly as his tyres are about to overheat. Conserve those, bring them back down to temp. Zooming ahead, go back on neutral, use a bit of fuel. We're going to tell Ricciardo use a bit of fuel. The engine is beautiful condition-wise, because of course we've got to repair everything for no time at all, which is a bit of a bug, but the AI get the same treatment, so it's a-okay. So Stroll and Vettel out of this race. Who's Vettel driving for again? McLaren. So Sainz and Vettel, we should probably have a good look at the team, but I think that's the only change that there is. So Norris is without a seat. That's a bit gutting. Why is Leclerc? Oh, Leclerc lost P2, so he might fall down the gap here and fall down the grid a little bit, but Leclerc, he doesn't have the same car as Ricciardo, does he? He doesn't. So I feel a bit sorry for him, but he will eventually. He will, don't worry. Once we start getting new parts in, these two will be fine at the top of the grid together. It's hard to get two cars with the same parts here. Ricciardo's tyres are falling under temperature very quickly. It's really hard to keep track of two tyres, but we're doing a pretty good job of it right now. 4 laps remaining. Come on, Leclerc. Fight them away. Use that curse to your advantage. Beautifully done, mate. We're going to tell Ricciardo to cool it on the engine a little bit. Yeah, it's alright, Leclerc. Head up, Buttercup. Chin up, Buttercup. You'll be right. You'll be right. Where does that put us? Top of the championship if Mercedes don't overtake Albon. Oh, and they just do. And oh no, that's including that. So that's fine. We're going to be top of the championship. Beautifully done by the lads. Ricciardo is going to come through for P1 in the Australian Grand Prix. He's finally going to win his home Grand Prix. I didn't even think about that. Comes through the final corners on the Inters. Beautifully done. There it is. Brilliant win. Daniel Ricciardo gets the first win for the career. First race of Season 2 is our win in Australia. The home Grand Prix of Spartan Willie and Ricciardo. Beautifully done, mate. I love it. That's why we brought him here. And Leclerc comes through in no, that's not the end of the race. Oh no, it is over. P5. Unlucky Leclerc. Lost it a bit at the end, but it's not your fault. The car's not quite with you yet. But Ricciardo had an excellent race today. After the double safety cars. Beautiful. The strategy was on point as well. You made a mistake. It's alright. The race is over, Leclerc. It's alright, mate. It's alright. It's over. You can let Verstappen pass you. He had a shocking race today, to be fair to him. But we're in first place. Renault won in size. How did Alonso go today? 8th and 10th for Renault. Not great for them, as it's just this is the longest end of a race I've ever seen. But Ricciardo comes into the pits a champion. Get around him, boys. Get around him. But there we go. Ferrari win. It's rebuilding Ferrari is it's there. It did sort of play into our hands a bit today with the rain. On raw pace, I think the Mercedes probably would have bet us. Obviously, Lewis got the fastest lap of the race. I'm on the podium for the first time. Spartan Willie. Beautiful. I did a show with Ricciardo, alright? We'll just say I did a show with Ricciardo. Lifelong dream. Come on, Daniel Ricciardo. Can Ferrari go on to dominate Formula 1? Ed Straw, you can count us in. Off to the bookies to collect my winnings. Thank you, Ferrari and Daniel Ricciardo. Look at that. The fans are getting around us. It's beautiful. Sorry, I know this has been a massive episode, but preseason was a big chunk of that, so it was sort of bound to happen. But I hope you enjoyed that race. I certainly did. It was very action-packed. So many, 2 safety cars, bit of rain, three stop. We did. We won with a 3 stop. We got a Trout here. That'll be race winner, home race winner. That's right. And the chairman loves that. We all love that. Leclerc's developing at a good rate. Hopefully that gearbox will be done soon so we can put it in a car and try and get them on equal pegging. It will be done in 3 days. If we go through the mail here, interview. The post certainly got a bit out of hand. We heard members of your team drove a forklift truck into the hospitality building. Do you think this is appropriate behaviour? Everyone on the team's just celebrating, man. Daniel Ricciardo is a wild man. I just want to thank you all, the team, for your efforts this weekend. To win my home race is amazing. Let's hope we can get many more in the future. Mate, you can count on it. You can count on it. Alright, so that will wrap it up. Let's just soak it in. Top of the Constructors' Championship. Anyway, thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it. Leave a like if you're enjoying the series and this episode, and for Daniel Ricciardo's first home race win. And subscribe if not already. I'll see you in the next one.